3, 2, 1. And this is the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh 1.
And we're counting down because we're ready to do another For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you guys have a question for us, please comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first.
And that question is none other than, excuse me, miss, because I saw you from across the room.
You have Sanguinius as your thumbnail.
Yeah. The question by Sanguinius is, what is the most powerful sword, space, spear, mace, etc., weapon in 40K?
So the Emperor's sword.
Definitely. We've talked about this a few times. When it comes to the mightiest weapons of 40K, there's a lot that come to mind. The Emperor's sword is a major one. The Talons of Horus. You could even say like some of the weapons used on like Titans, because those things are pretty much like capable of wiping out continents. But if I were to say, it's an interesting quote-unquote weapon because it's a shapeshifter, and it's rumored to be the first demon, and that is none other than Abaddon's sword.
It's indestructible.
Indestructible. The Emperor could not kill it, break it down, or will it away. He actually like put it inside the belly of a custodian so he could always keep watch on him, but that didn't last long. This weapon, this demon can shapeshift. Currently, it's a sword that steals the souls of whatever it cuts down. And in my opinion, it's probably stronger than anything we've seen. Because if the Emperor couldn't kill it, the Emperor's flaming sword won't be able to kill it either. So it's like, what can stop this thing?
Khorne himself.
Maybe.
I mean, when I think of powerful weapons, I do think of the Necrons and their ability to destroy planets and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like the machine itself. What is it called? The
Celestial Orrery?
Yep, that one, and then the other one that Mini Wargaming has talked about. And I always forget the name when we talk about this. Damn, I can't remember. Oh, World Engine.
There you go, the World Engines, yes.
But they explode. They can be destroyed. They have been before.
Blackstone fortresses are also pretty mighty.
Yep, but they also get destroyed and stuff.
Yeah, they get rammed into Cadia.
The only thing that can't get destroyed, it seems, is that sword. So,
Slash demon.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's a cool concept, cool idea. You could say the weapons of the Primarchs that they use are pretty powerful, pretty iconic. But if you had to choose one to actually have in real life, what would you go with?
Probably like a Digiring or a digital ring.
So you could be like, Agumon Digivolve too.
Yeah. Kabuterimon.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think I'd go with, I just had it and I lost it. No, I got it again. Farsight's sword.
Oh, that would be awesome. That's because you just steal lives and you can live forever.
I mean, yeah, you'd have to kill people and things to steal that life, but hey.
I changed my mind. I want that one too. We could both live forever and create these videos for the rest of eternity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we would outlive 40K.
We'd outlive the internet.
Yeah.
I wonder who would be the first one to look at each other and be like, I can't live anymore.
Definitely not me. I could keep myself busy.
You don't think the seeing people's lives wither away like it's a mere second to you would be?
No, I'm not as compassionate as most people. I've realized as I've gotten older, I'm not that compassionate. What about you? You feel like it would get to you?
Yeah, I feel like after a while, it's like, why even meet people? They're gonna die in 60 years.
Well, that's why you want to meet them, because they're finite. Like, they're not infinite, like you.
True.
So you want to get to know them, talk to them, be like, oh, cool, you're into that kind of stuff. And then you remember them. Oh, remember that one guy that was into fish sticks with ketchup? Well, that's everybody, right? Everybody likes fish chips.
Fish chips? You said fish sticks.
That is the same thing.
Yeah.
Because don't people from in the UK call them chips?
Fish crisps.
Crisps, that's what it is. Yeah. See, I could get to know everybody in the UK. Well, no, not really, but...
I mean, if you live forever, you might just have like a meet the immortal Gersh.
Oh, yeah, then they could just come up, say their name. Moving on.
Conan Holmes. Could you do a collaboration with Bridget B and have her do a For the Greater Wall episode? Having her answer questions, I think, would be funny as hell. And I know you guys are big fans of her.
Yeah, I think that would be really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We could try.
It'd be hilarious to actually get her to try to answer these questions when she has no idea what you guys are asking. It's like, what do you think of the falling out between Horus and his favorite battle brother? And she'd be like, ¿Quién?
Exactly. She is from Spain. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Next question comes from PB Unit. Which Primarch would win in a 40k tabletop tournament? Would they all play Space Marines? I feel the most tactical would probably be Gilliman, the Lion, or Sanguinius. Shit, maybe even Fulgrim.
I was thinking maybe even, what's his name? El Amarillo?
Oh, Rogaldorn?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Rogaldorn would be too obvious.
It's like, oh, you're doing this tactic. It's
right.
Like, tried and true.
Yep. He plays that Leviathan Dreadnought with, like, what was that old gimmick?
Just one Leviathan Dreadnought.
And then
that's all it takes. Like,
yeah.
Even whether you deep strike it or not, like, it's not going to die. I remember our buddy had one, and it literally just, like, started in the middle of the board, made its way to the corner, and just killed everything in a complete, like, semicircle.
Yeah. But I don't think that could happen anymore.
No, I don't think so, yeah.
Next one.
This one is by WAAAGH. How do you guys keep your fence so clean and nice?
I spit shine it. So I get out there with a rag. I spit on the rag, and then I shine it.
Oh, you don't spit directly on the wood?
No, you definitely don't want to do that because that ruins it. That's how your wood rots. Never spit directly on the wood. Spit on the hand and then grab the wood.
It's like you get splinters, though.
Yeah.
But hey, it beats having a dirty fence.
Exactly. Next question.
Joe Campbell. After battle, who cleans the Space Marines? Or do they just get the hose?
No, it's the serfs.
Mm-hmm.
The chapter monastery is full of chapter serfs, which are either generational servants or they are neophytes that never made it through the indoctrination process but didn't die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sapper 12B. I keep hearing people talk about people being mercenaries, like the Kroot being mercenaries, or different elements of the fallen angels doing mercenary work. My question is, who the hell is hiring them? I mean, we've got the Imperium and Chaos, and obviously the Imperium ain't paying for nothing from nobody, and Chaos just takes what it wants from whomever. So who are they getting paid from?
I think you have a misconception of how the Imperium works. Like, there is more autonomy within the Imperium than you think.
Yeah, for sure.
The High Lords collect taxes. That's it, or tithes. And if they say something, you have, as a planet of the Imperium, you have to abide by it. But the actual governance of your planet is up to the planetary governor. If he wants to hire a pirate, like a freebooter pirate, to like do something to another planet, he can do that because who's going to stop him?
Right.
It's either the Inquisition or like the other planets are going to snitch. But even those planets don't want to snitch to the Inquisition because whenever you deal with them, like, bad things happen.
Yeah, even having the Inquisition just come to a neighboring planet, that's too much attention being drawn to you.
Yeah.
They'll find something.
Growing up, like, if you lived in a bad neighborhood, you didn't want to call the police because it's like, well, then they're going to, like, look into other things too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of that same situation. Sadly.
Oh, this one's by Callus Typhon. How do Imperial authorities clean up dead bodies after battle? Like demon guts, dead poxwalkers, or dead plague marines? So if it's a demon, they get sucked back into the warp. So there are no demon trophies. But on some models, you see like Grey Knights carrying like a demon skull. But it's like, how? ¿Por qué?
Well, it's like us. Like right now, if you and I started worshiping Nurgle and we became one-eyed dudes, what are they called? Plague bearers?
Mm-hmm.
And they killed us, the etheric part of us would go away, but we would still have the mutated skull that is left behind because we're still material.
Yeah, I guess so.
And and whoever picks that up, that's just, most of it is probably going to get destroyed because the Inquisition and the Imperium as a whole is just super scared of all this stuff. For good reason, because there was one greater demon who was kept alive because his body was not fully destroyed, and then it was a greater that was great unclean one, and then he came back. I forget his name. He has a weird, complicated name, but yeah. So wait, what was this question?
Oh, who cleans up after like the deceased?
Oh, yeah. So whoever wants to.
Right, and obviously if they're fighting against like a physical like alien Xenos, like let's say it's like the crew being hired against some like orcs. Obviously, whatever orc parts and crew parts are there, either they'll take for themselves and they'll use it for like customizing stuff, or they'll take the weapons. But yeah, there are like grave robbers, or like just the local authorities will clean up,
right? If
it's even a thing.
Yep.
Because they could just stay there and rot and become vegetation.
Right. This question comes from Guy Bob. Isn't the orc top knot actually just a squig hair that they attach to their heads? For some of them, yeah. There are these things called squig or hair squigs, but you mostly see that in freebooter captains, and they're trying to be showy. They're trying to do the flick of the hair thing, not just like a top knot. Because orcs can grow hair. Kind of.
That's nasty to think about.
Yeah.
This one's by Brian B. What happened to the room you guys originally did the greater walls in?
We'll be back to it someday.
Yeah, I think it's currently getting fumigated for orc spores.
Yes, too many orc spores.
This one's by Isaac Langdon. If the Imperium does a split between the God Emperor and the Emperor of Mand, who will the Death Corps of Krieg back? Who will the Cult of Suffering back?
I bet you they're going to have that. Some regiments back the God Emperor, some regiments back the Golden Throne Emperor.
Yeah, because, I mean, let's say you do have, like, the Krieg go to, like, the God Emperor. Well, that's going to kind of hinder players who always wanted to praise the other one. Right. So it's like, in order to keep everybody happy, it's a split.
Yep.
All Might. Question. What are the two races you'd pay to see get it on?
Humans and Earthcast. Tau.
Okay.
Because you need to, like, live vicariously through something, and that is a human. So.
Mm-hmm. I would do every race I can think of in order with the Sisters of Silence to see which race can make them break their vow of silence.
Yeah. Probably the demons. Next question.
This one is by the big one. My sister says that she's sad. Is the best way to cheer her up to yell, "Get happy, sourpuss"? That'll work, right?
For the most part, yeah. Happiness is all mental.
It is, yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen the
Pursuit of Happiness.
Not The Pursuit of Happiness. Well, that's a good movie. But there's a concept of just like even simply smiling that can trick your brain into making you feel like you're in a good mood.
Right. Or just crazy. Going outside or somewhere sunny.
Oh yeah, the sun. Yeah.
Because if you're indoors all day and you got like your light blocking shades and you're just in like darkness, that may not help your psyche.
Right.
Cool to watch a movie, play video games in, but happiness, not so much.
No, you need the sun. It is our God.
Vitamina D.
This question comes from Don Krill. Does the factions of 40K play any sports? I've seen Blood Bowl, but would it be cool to see Astra Militarum have a soccer tournament between battles and it's football to us Europeans? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they do that. I don't think
sports are like outlawed.
Right.
Yeah, because I could definitely see like Imperial Guard regiments like on their off time playing like hacky sack.
Right.
Professional hacky sack. And they like crumpet dance and stuff like that too.
Yeah, crumpet. Next question.
This one's by Jamie Garth. Would 50K be the eventual end game for GW and 40K, or do you see a 60K off in the distance?
No, I mean, I hope that it's the end. I think having a 60K would be like, ugh.
70K, 80K.
Yeah.
Warhammer 100,000.
And if you notice, like we went from the 41st millennium to the 42nd millennium.
In what, 30 years?
Yeah. So it's taking a while, which is good. Mm-hmm. Take your time, GW.
Yeah. For sure, after this, what was it, 8th edition? After GW became more like... Mainstream, more community-based, you definitely see a progression in the timeline.
Yeah.
It's not like it's been very, very stagnant from like 1st edition all the way to 7th.
Right.
Well, no, because even at the end of 7th, it progressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like, how do you keep introducing new units, characters, and stuff like that if the story doesn't progress?
This one's not a well, he didn't put question in front of his question, but Damian Watley says, can you guys stay behind the camera? The content is better when it's commentary only. No, because we got to show you guys our face. Mm-hmm. It's important for you guys to see who we are, just in case if we ever go missing, you guys can find us.
Right. It's like the old saying, serve them body, but give them face.
Yep. Next question.
Yep. This one is by Shinku Kiritu Ichika. Strange one that I want to ask. If you know some history, which 40K Imperium Force, Astra Militarum Regiment, and the Astartes chapter would be suited for Vietnam and Afghanistan respectively, how do you think they would go at it?
Wait, say that again?
So based on history, how would the Astra Militarum, the Space Marines, and the ADMEC go against like Vietnam War, the Afghan War, and how would they go about like fighting that?
Well, they would destroy like the opposition, whether they are fighting against those people or they are those people defending themselves. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're futuristic militaries.
Right. It doesn't matter which. Like, it would make sense to have, like, for example, the Catachans do the Vietnam War because they're, like, jungle fighting and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, you don't need a freaking Catachan who specializes in that to do it. I think any Imperial Guard regiment could do it because, again, it's, like, super futuristic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't really care about, like, people's feelings and stuff.
That's true. Like, I could literally see one Space Marine, like, how are you going to cut through that armor?
Right.
I mean, you would literally have to, like... Because I don't even think carpet bombing would be able to, like, pierce power armor.
No. And I think it would be interesting if they were on the opposite side, too. Like, mm-hmm. So if they were fighting for those nations, because then they would just invade the entire world.
Yeah.
They would realize, like, wait, why are we defending ourselves? Like, this is so easy. Let's just conquer the entire planet. Mm-hmm. And they would.
Yeah.
Especially the Space Marines. And then we can all get mechadendrites.
Oh, I would. Starting from my belly button. Brian PJ says, do you think that the Khan has been turned into some type of flesh furniture somewhere deep in Camera? Or would he have the skills to survive?
He has the skills to survive. Mm-hmm. He basically has a golden ticket to eternity because he's a Primarch. Mm-hmm.
He is the Bear Grylls of his time.
Plot armor.
Yeah.
And then last question. You got one?
This one's by K. Garcia. The war on Hesp, where the Death Guard and the Tyranids duked it out and screwed a planet with their noxious warfare. Could you guys do a video on this?
That's an easy one. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. When it comes to the Death Guard and the Tyranids, these are two factions that I almost never think about meeting one another.
Until you mentioned it, I never even thought.
Yeah. Because there's like so many races and so many sub-factions that like, it's hard to think of all the possible interactions and battles between one another. Like, what's another one that you'd almost never even think about?
Well, I think Eldar and Orcs.
Yeah.
Or Dark Eldar and Orcs.
Dark Eldar and Orcs.
Yeah, and that one's a tricky one. Mm-hmm.
Because you always have, like, two, like... Because the Tau and the Orcs have been fighting for, like, generations.
Right.
But then it's, like, you never really hear, like, Harlequins going up against the Tau.
Yeah.
So it's like it's interesting to think of these like obscure battles and scenarios, and to make a video on that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Don't forget, you have to put question in front of your question. Thank you guys.
Those questions first.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
This is the Sound Alchemist,
Gersh1,
and we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation. I knew I never had that much to lose.